I repeat that. Removal of unfair terms in oil deals and industry. Welcome to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. I'm GHK Lal on the National Outlook. It's Wednesday, April 6th. Removal of unfair terms in oil deals and industry norm. Chatham House says countries have right to renegotiation. I repeat that. Removal of unfair terms in oil deals and industry norm. Countries have right to renegotiation. I agree. You know, on the one hand, we hear about the sacred nature of contracts. They're unbreakable. They are set in stone. That may be so from a legal, absolutely purely legal standpoint. But we know that countries break up treaties in times of war. We know marriage contract, to make this simple, it's supposed to be till death do us part, but we have all these divorces. So think about that, and we go now to oil. Oil is a commodity. I agree with Chatham House that it is only reasonable and even considered a normal practice in the petroleum industry for countries to engage oil companies in the review and removal of terms contained which may leave the country in a disadvantageous position, in a negative position. That's where I am, because it can have a destabilizing effect on countries. Destabilizing effect. If the terms of the contract, my brothers and sisters, are so burdensome, they're so infuriating, at least to a huge segment of the population, not just to me or to you, but to a huge segment of the population, what you have is people who are angry, people who are unsettled. It means that the thinking at different layers in society is that there is not enough to go around, or what is coming in is not coming in as much as it should and as rapidly as it should. Therefore, some things that should go to citizens have to be bypassed in the near term or longer. And the longer people have to wait when they hear about billions of barrels and billions of dollars being reaped in profits by the oil companies and billions being spent on mega projects, the angrier they become. The angrier the citizens become. So that's a recipe for destabilization. Countries do not or should not want to be in such an environment. They should anticipate that. They should use that as leverage to bargain, to renegotiate with oil companies. I think that's what Chatham House is saying here. At least that's the way I'm taking it. The legitimacy of renegotiating an existing agreement. A near consensus emerged, that's in Chatham House in London, in order to maintain a long-term partnership between oil companies and governments, because the refusal to review terms could be destabilizing and unfair to some countries. To ensure that the deal is viable. It's in the long-term interest of both parties, particularly the oil company. So renegotiation is no longer, well, a nice thing to do, a necessary thing to do. It's a mandatory thing that should and must be done. Exxon needs peace and stability in this country. It needs a stable and steady environment. Let this be understood. That's why we have all these Americans coming here. That's why we have the ambassador walking a very careful line. She cannot say anything about Exxon, But she's like, let's be inclusive. That's why the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State came here, Ms. Feinstein, and meeting with everybody, taking our temperature. She can't like what she hears. So therefore, renegotiation is a must. It must happen. Exxon should see to that. The PPP government should insist upon that. The opposition should press for that. I'm GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Thank you for listening to the National Outlook.